just want to give some free advice to the white progressives, particularly white progressive women who may be thinking about marching against the Trump victory, maybe putting back on the P word hats and doing that thing. I would just say probably don't send any of those invites to any black women you know. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not coming. like, I'm pretty sure black women have resigned from the Save America Coalition, Save Democracy Coalition, and definitely the Save the Democratic Party Coalition. I think that's probably not happening. I would just keep those invites maybe among your own friends because I don't think they're coming. But yeah, I think black women are now on the Save Black Women, Prioritize Black Men, and prioritize black communities, black businesses, and that. And the black spaces, but Save America, Save the Democratic Party. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
So I will say this to Joy Reid. I beg to differ. Not all black women are checked out. There's a lot of black women who are excited about the results of this past election. Some of those black women are watching currently, and shout out to you. Another black woman that was excited is my own mother. My mom came over last week, like a day. It was like a day after the election, not the next day. It was like that Thursday or something. And I've never seen my mother drink, ever. I've never watched her. I've never seen alcohol touch my mother's lips at all. But like, she was like, he won. Like, let's celebrate. Let's take a shot. Like, the first time I've ever seen alcohol touch my mother's lips. She had a shot. She had a cocktail. Like, she was having a jolly good time. So to Joy Reid, not all black women are upset about the results. There's a lot of them that are extremely excited. Okay, I will say that because that was a shocker for me. I've never seen my mother do that ever in my entire life. So that was a fun time, an exciting time. But I also want to talk about what's happening with mainstream media currently. And Mark Halperin and Sean Spicer talked about it. But before they get into it, I want to show you guys this. So, Morning Joe, in the first hour, he's down nearly 40%, 39.6, basically 40%. Morning Joe in the second hour is down 37%. Andrea Mitchell, down 40%. I don't even know who this is. Ari, down 50%. Joy Reid, Joyless Reid, yeah, down 55% on her viewership. Chris Hayes, down 47. Alex Wagner, 53. Lawrence O'Donnell, 60%. Stephanie Rule, nearly 70% down. As, folks like myself's viewership goes up. But I want to play this clip from Mark Halperin and Sean Spicer because they touch on that a little bit. Check it out.
This is out just a little while ago. The ratings for MSNBC, Morning Joe down 39.6, Andrea Mitchell down 39.7, Ari Melber down 49.6, Joy Reid down 54.6, all in the last week. Lawrence O'Donnell.
Two ways way up over that same period.
That's right. Lawrence O'Donnell down 60.6, Stephanie Rule, the big winner, down 67% in ratings. They lost the trust of the American people. I mean, Chris Wallace this morning announced that he's leaving CNN to go to a platform. The thing is, my view, I've been asked probably by about 10 to 12 reporters in the last 48 to 72 hours, how did we miss this again? And I said, we didn't, you did. And I say this respectfully, but I was just like, look, here are the guests that we've had on. Here are the conversations. Here are the places. We didn't miss this. You did. And the idea that you're still thinking that we missed it, 7 days out from an election shows you how bad they are at what they do. And so I think that there's a lack of trust that exists. And as Dan said, very, very apropos, that there people are going, great, I'll tune you out and I'll go find somewhere else. And Mark's right. I mean, look at the numbers. This show keeps growing every day because people, I think, are saying, I can find out more in honestly what's happening on this platform than anywhere else. So look, that's why I love America. Every time someone says journalism is dying, I go over to Substack. Look at these different shows. I mean, there's a proliferation of media. It's in a different form, but it is growing and flourishing, just not in a traditional way.
I will say this, and at the risk of repeating myself, the very same executives and producers and anchors and correspondents and writers who covered and participated in the cover-up of the Biden decline, and then after the decline had to be exposed and acknowledged, never acknowledged their role in it. All those people are covering the Trump administration. They also covered the campaign. I don't understand how they think they can cover the Trump campaign fairly, or Trump administration fairly, or be seen as covering the Trump administration fairly if they don't acknowledge their role in the conspiracy and their failure to acknowledge it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And it impacts the Democratic Party, because we've talked to many people on this platform, and Nick, you suggested you share that view, who said, I couldn't vote for Kamala Harris because of the media. Not the only reason, but
there's
a
a few
reason.
things, obviously your platform too, but I think as being someone living in Manhattan, right? I don't know if anyone read Josh Barrow's Why Dems Deserve to Lose in the Atlantic. And, I'm not exactly aligned with him on all his views, but he went through this kind of distillation of anyone living in New York right now, just to seem like the low quality of life. And then the media basically pretending that, if you have that voice, you're lying, or it's just not true. And I don't know. I just think it's just not a reflection of they're not trying to listen to people. They're just trying to get their point of view across, unfortunately. And it manifests in that way. And it manifests in like you said, Mark, the inability to call balls and strikes with the current president, unfortunately.
Facts. They don't tell it like it is. They blatantly lie to people and say, "Oh, the economy's great. I don't know what you're talking about. You're just stupid. You're listening to misinformation. I'm the one that pulled up to the gas pump. I'm the one that went to the grocery store. I'm the one that's looking at my bank account drop continuously. And you're telling me that I'm stupid? I'm looking at the grass and it's clearly green, but you're telling me it's purple, and to believe you and not my own eyes, as if I'm some type of fool or something." That's what's happening. But the American people have woken up to the BS, and the mainstream media is officially dead. You guys remember Ben Carson said this?
Do you think that she can win?
Absolutely, she can win. This is going to be a great test of the power of the media to take someone who formerly was universally disliked and transform them into a godlike figure. And they will use everything that they have to try to do that. The question is, are the American people smart enough to see through it? And I actually think the American people are smarter than anybody gives them credit for. And I don't think that they are going to be willing to sacrifice what we have in this country, which is what everybody else wants, even though they try to denigrate our country, say we're systemically racist, we're unfair to people. If we were all that bad, why are all these people trying to get in here? And why aren't people trying to get out of here? So we know that we have something that's very good. And I think the American people realize that, and they're not willing to give that up and trade that for something inferior.
This election was a test to see if mainstream media still had the power that it once held. If they could still wield that sword of power, so to speak. And we found out that they no longer have it. It is gone. And you see it in the ratings. You saw it in the election sweep, because all of the media coverage was completely negative for Trump, but everything was positive for Kamala. It was sunshine and rainbows for Kamala, and it was doom's gloom for Trump. And yet Trump won in a landslide. And not only did he sweep all the swing states, he won the popular vote. And he came within 11 points in a deep blue state like New York. He held a rally of 20,000 people in New York. In a place like New Jersey, he came within 4 points of winning. New Jersey is now a swing state as far as I'm concerned. Okay? New Jersey is now a swing state. That is massive. That is huge, because there are 14 electoral college votes in New Jersey. So to put that into perspective, people were talking about, Trump had to win Pennsylvania in order to win the election. Well, if Trump sweeps the Sun Belt and he loses Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, but he wins New Jersey, he still wins the election. Doesn't matter if he lost all 3 of those states. He doesn't have to penetrate the blue wall. You see what I'm saying? So New Jersey, the New Jersey twist on all of this is absolutely massive. But it's not just MSNBC that is having some issues right now. It's also places like CNN. CNN is planning to wield the axe on some of its high-paid staff after dismal election ratings. After dismal election ratings that cap off a disastrous period for the cable news network. According to an explosive new report from Puck Network, executives will unleash sweeping layoffs in a bid to save the network's flailing reputation. It comes after the departure of stalwart Chris Wallace, who I believe Chris Wallace is going to do some podcasting now. That ain't gonna work out for him. It ain't gonna happen. You're not Tucker, brother. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. But go ahead. It's a free country, so do as you will. And reports senior stars like Wolf Blitzer and Jake Tapper have both been declined raises. There is no mention of who may be on the chopping block. The highest paid stars include Anderson Cooper, who rakes in $20 million a year, which is just absolutely insane. $20 million a year to spew BS all day long is just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane numbers right there. But Aaron Burnett, $6 million, and rising star Caitlin Collins. I wouldn't call her a rising star, but she's making $3 million a year, which is also insane to be paying someone to spew BS. You could literally pay anybody $500,000 or $200,000, even $100,000, right, to just go up there and do what they all do. They don't do anything special. Literally nothing special. Literally nothing special. In the next few months, I'm told CNN will implement another round of layoffs that will impact hundreds of employees across the organization. Reporter Dylan Byers wrote Friday, referencing CNN's recent 100-person layoff seen over the summer. The fresh round of firings, the insider said, will be more geared toward production side of things. As a result, reporters and correspondents will be required to cover their slack, they said, describing how on-air workers will be asked to assume more of the responsibilities once handled by teams of producers and production assistants. Yeah, so CNN set to lay off a bunch of people. Possibly even some of their, bigger stars, if that's what you want to call them, or talent. People like Jake Tapper, who's getting paid an exorbitant amount of money. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But also, there have been rumors floating around that MSNBC and Comcast is looking to, Comcast is looking to sell MSNBC and depart from that because of the ratings tank. And there have been some people that have come out and said that they were thinking about purchasing. One of them is the Daily Wire guy. Golly, I can't think of his name now. I'm drawing a blank. I can see his face. Jeremy was talking about purchasing MSNBC. What I think should happen is Elon should buy it. Yeah, I know it's easy for me to say because I'm not the one purchasing it. Yeah, of course, I don't have the kind of money to purchase it anyway. I mean, if they want to sell it to me for a cheap price, a really cheap price, if it's something I could, if they want to sell it for my budget, all right, cool, I'll buy it. But I'm pretty sure they ain't gonna want to sell it for what I can pay for it. Okay, so it's gonna have to be somebody like Elon, and I think it would be good for America to have a legitimate news channel that people can tune into that literally only tells just the news, okay? And it's completely unbiased. You just tell it how it is, and you let the people decide how they want to feel about it. And that would hurt somebody like me, but I think it would be good for America to have something like that. Having places like MSNBC and CNN and ABC and these propagandist machines, it's great for me because it sends more people my way, but I want what's great for America, okay? Even if that means, I lose some people and some of you guys go watch MSNBC because now they're unbiased and completely fair in their news coverage, which I know that's a stretch to think about. But if Elon bought it, I would assume that that would actually happen. Now, Elon hasn't spoken about that, and I highly doubt that's actually going to happen based on what Elon already has going. I mean, he has X, he has his other companies, and now he has the government DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. So I highly doubt Elon is going to be in the running to purchase it, but I wouldn't be mad if he did. Okay, I actually would be pretty darn excited. But I also want to play this clip of Joy Reid, and this is another reason why MSNBC, in her ratings, which you saw, she's down over 50%, are in the tank. She's literally telling people that they should not communicate with their blood relatives, with their blood family, because of politics. She is pushing division. Check it out.
How do you interact with people who you know voted for this, right? If you are an LGBTQ person and you know someone in your family voted essentially against your rights, or you're a woman knowing that, this man was calling people the B word. J.D. Vance was literally calling Kamala Harris the trash and said, we're going to take out the trash. I know a lot of Black women were incredibly triggered by that. And if you then meet somebody and they voted for the people who called you trash, or if you're Puerto Rican, and someone voted that way, do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question because, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood. And it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. And I actually talked to, adults as well as advising parents for children. I mean, I think, I don't think that you should force children. I don't think you should force adults to be around people just because they're your family. I think there's a level of, need to establish boundaries. And if you feel like you need to establish boundaries with people, whether they're your family or not, I think you should very much be entitled to do so. And I think it may be essential for your mental, adults as well as, advising parents for children. I mean, I think, I don't think that you should force children. I don't think you should force.
Yeah, so I played that back because I wanted to make sure I heard her correctly. So not only is she advising adults to just skip out on their blood family and just check out, okay, which is absolutely insane over politics, but she's telling them that the kids need to be involved as well. Take the kids away, which the kids have nothing to do with any of this. They don't have any idea what's even happening. When I was a kid, I had no clue about politics. I didn't care who was president, what was going on with the president's race, anything. Didn't care. That went above my head. I was a kid. I cared about video games and having a good time and going outside and playing. Like that. Now we're involving kids. Like this is the type of insanity that has driven this company into the dirt. And this is recent. Obviously, this has happened post-election. They have not learned, and I am so happy to see their ratings going in the tank. It's because of stuff like this, and it's okay. People like Joy Reid will eventually find out when they're all fired and they're all out of there because their ratings just continue to drop because the American people don't buy into the BS. They're literally pushing division over politics. Skip out on the holidays, guys. Be miserable and lonely by yourself because somebody else voted differently than you. I guess the old saying is true. Misery loves company, doesn't it? Seems like Joy Reid is pretty miserable, so she wants other people to be miserable with her too. This is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, what? Like, I was shocked when I heard this little clip. Like, did she really go on air and say that? Like, you have, like, she knows her ratings are in the tank. She knows this. Like, you just haven't learned. Like, you're doubling down on this type of BS, on this type of nonsense. You lost an election in a landslide, and I say you because we know Joy Reid and everybody else on MSNBC is just a mouthpiece for the Democrat Party, so they're a part of it too. They lost an election in a landslide. A landslide. Like, it wasn't even close. Kamala got blown out the water. She lost every single swing state and lost the popular vote. Trump won the House, the Senate, and he's the president. Like, you got demolished electorally. Like, this is how you come back. Fine, have it your way. Have it your way. As Scott Jennings said, you guys still haven't learned? Well, I guess that's a good sign for 2028. Keep it up, baby. If you still have your job by 2028, because at its current pace, with the rumors floating that MSNBC might be sold and your ratings are down, over 50%, my ratings are up, and I don't have, multi-millions of dollars of advertisement behind me, or am I on national television? I don't have a fancy studio, or any of that. And you're losing. Okay, keep it up. That's all I'll say about that. Anyway, y'all let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Peace and love. I'm out.